Hi folks, my name's Dan Necci. I'm originally from Ixonia, Wisconsin. It's in Jefferson County, just outside of Oconomowoc. I did my undergraduate work at UW-Eau Claire, where I majored in psychology and business administration. I got my law degree from Marquette University, and I've been in private practice and as an attorney ever since. I started out in corporate law in Milwaukee, hated it. Wanted to work with people and small businesses. I wanted to have some personal contact. So I made my way back to the Oconomowoc area with plans of opening up a law firm, and I met my lovely wife there, and plans changed again. So my career brought me to this area. I worked for Seymour, Kramer, Cook, and Lockowitz in Elkhorn for about 3.5 years. I learned what it means to represent someone. I learned what it means to take on their needs and their wants and put them above your own. I learned how to be a professional. From there, I opened up my own practice in Lake Geneva, right on Main Street, the law office of Daniel A. Necci, and that's where I am today. Brittany and I live in Delavan at 924 Center Street, if you ever want to stop by. With our 2 children, Lillian is 3, and Isabella is 1.5. And people ask me, just like they ask all these guys all the time, well, why does he want to get into this? Well, why are you here? Why are you a candidate? And the truth is, they're the reason. The truth is, my children and their future are the reason. Right at home, we face many of the major issues of the day. Taxation on all levels, healthcare, education. Those come home for me right now. And when I put my personal problems aside and I go to the office, I represent people and small businesses. I walk them through the regulatory system. I walk them through the laws and policies of Madison, and I see the carnage that those failed laws and policies have caused. It's because of that I believe we would have a special trust. What I mean is between you, the voters, and myself as your state representative. You wouldn't have to wonder what drives Representative Necci to go to Madison every day, to go every extra mile every day in that office. I wake up every morning and see it at home. The stories of my clients who have gone through divorces, receiverships, bankruptcies, etc., etc. Those stories will haunt me and will carry me to change the policies and laws of this state. I hope you'll let me lead the way for your voices and values straight to the floor of the Assembly, because that's what I want to do. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Last movie I watched was Tinkerbell. I'm a particularly big fan of the Disney fairies, Silver Mist being my favorite. First thing I do is repeal combined reporting. Combined reporting was brought about by the Doyle administration. It's a system of taxation by which if a parent corporation owns more than 50% of its subsidiaries, any locale, they have to report that as income. It sends the taxes through the roof. Okay, it was a sneaky way to get a heck of a lot more taxes out of our biggest businesses. Some of our biggest employers here in the state of Wisconsin, for example, combined reporting is costing Harley-Davidson $22.5 million and is one of the leading reasons that Wisconsin icon is thinking about leaving the state. It's one simple thing. It's the very first thing I would do to allow the tax rate to go down for our large employers who have those corporate subsidiaries and allow them to expand, remain in the state, keep the jobs in the state, expand and add more jobs. Well, there's a lot of good, excuse me, there's a lot of good ideas out there. Mr. Gibbs' idea about helping businesses get through the morass of the administrative regulations, about bringing businesses to Wisconsin is a great idea, except we've already got that. It's called the Department of Commerce. At least that's what they're supposed to be doing. In Indiana, they do that. In Indiana, they took the Department, Governor Mitch Daniels took the Department of Commerce, threw it out, created a non-stock corporation in its place. Okay, now the people of the Department of Commerce, or whatever they're calling the company at this point, have to meet a bottom line. They have to perform, or they don't get paid. They have to bring business to Indiana. They have to make it easy to do business in Indiana, or they don't get paid. And guess what? Indiana's economy has gone up while the nation's has gone down. So that's a great idea, but it'll take time. Streamlining the regulatory system. You're going to hear a lot of conservative candidates talk about that. Problem is that's not an overnight fix. That's a painstaking process, industry by industry, regulation by regulation, that will take effort. It will take a strong candidate who's willing to make some tough decisions that will affect people in his district and will affect people in Madison, affect his image in Madison. Creating partnerships between business and education is a great idea too. It's going to take time to be able to get our educational institutions, our higher educational institutions in line so that they're providing the skills necessary to draw business to this state and to provide the existing businesses with the kind of employees that they need. The number one thing we can do right now, we can change overnight, is repeal combined reporting and drop the corporate tax rate. We can do it the minute we take office in January, and sure as heck, you're going to see some businesses come into Wisconsin. You're going to see businesses expand. Why? We're competing against 49 other states to get those businesses. We're competing against other countries around the world to get those businesses. If it's cheaper here, they'll come here, they'll do business, they'll employ people from Wisconsin. Mr. Finley's right. There's a time to borrow in the budget process. Except that time is not when you're facing a $2.5 billion structural deficit. That's not the time. The time is not when you've already got $11.7 billion in borrowing. It's not when 4.5% of the state budget goes to debt service alone. We have to make some changes. Borrowing at this point would be like me going home to Brittany and saying, hey, we're broke. Brittany's saying, well, maybe we could stop eating steak, or cut out the NFL ticket, or I could get a second job. Oh no, don't worry about that. We'll get 4 more credit cards. Everything will be fine. Now I know there's a couple of candidates up here who disagree with me when I say that no, we can't borrow anymore to fund government. The city of Delavan is the 5th highest city in the whole state of Wisconsin as far as per capita debt, per person debt. It's nearly 3 times the state average. That's more than Tom Barrett's city of Milwaukee, and that's more than the freewheeling, free-spending, free-loving city of Madison. So my answer is no. I won't support any further debt to support the next budget because we have to start bringing down the structural deficit. We have to get this state back on the road to solvency.